This is from Avlased. I think I said his name right. If not, I apologize. Rashod Bateman will lead all rookies in receiving. Jack, you go first because Bateman's my guy.
Yeah, you're gonna go off about this guy. That's a good. I need to compare him to like the other wide receivers, pretty much.
So Jamar Chase in Cincinnati, Jalen Waddle in Miami, Devontae Smith in Philly, Kadarius Toney in New York, Elijah Moore for the Jets.
I mean, it's
Rondale Moore for Arizona. Is what Terrace Marshall's in, I think, Carolina, right?
I think it's really quarterback dependent. I really feel like it is, and it's like when you're coming in, I feel like Rashod Bateman's going to be kind of near the bottom of the depth chart for Baltimore. I don't know 100% on that. I don't know if you can speak to that or not.
Yeah. See, the thing that Bateman, that as a Ravens fan, I know John Harbaugh pretty well, and I know he's often reluctant to start rookies. He didn't start Lamar right away. He has started some. Flacco was day one starter, but quarterback I think is a little bit different. Ronnie Stanley was a day one starter, but he was also the number 6 pick in the draft. Patrick Queen was a day one starter, but he got eaten alive. So I want to say that Bateman enters the season as a guy that's on the field, 85% of the snaps. I really hope so, because I think he's better than Sammy Watkins. And I think if you're rolling out wide receivers, so Marquise Brown, Bateman, and then I like Duvernay more than Watkins, but I can understand wanting Watkins. He's a good run blocker too. So I can get that, but I think Bateman should definitely be one of the top 3 receivers in Baltimore. But
yeah. I think he'll work his way up there.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a pretty hot take. If you're in terms of pure yards, I think it's probably Habanero, because I don't even think he's going to be first in his own division. I think Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase
could be in play for 1,200 yards. Could be in play for a Justin Jefferson kind of season. Devontae Smith. It's the quarterback. It's the offense there in Philly. I love Devontae Smith. I think anyone that's watched anything I've talked about with college football knows I love Devontae Smith. I like Waddle, but those aren't offenses that I think you're going to be pushing the ball down the field a lot. And, if the Eagles win, say, 10 games, it's not going to be because Jalen Hurts at 4,500 passing yards. It's going to be because they had an awesome run game. Miles Sanders was an all-pro caliber player. If Miami wins 12 games, it's not going to be because Tua threw for 5,000 yards. It's going to be because he threw for 4,000. It's going to be because he threw for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and they had a really good defense. So I would go Chase here. I would argue Rondale Moore, but I know people in Arizona love A.J. Green for some godforsaken reason. But I think Chase is the easy pick here. The other quarterbacks taken in the first, or other receivers taken in the first round, I don't think they have the situation. Burrow is arguably the best passer of the rookie quarterbacks, of the rookie receivers, apostrophe quarterbacks. But I think Chase is a guy that puts up 1,100 yards. I would say this is a habanero take. Now, Bateman could lead all rookies in receiving touchdowns. That is, I think, in play.
Touchdown seems more likely.
Yeah, we've seen, Marquise Brown has 15 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. Mark Andrews has 18. They're 2 of 11 guys with 7 in both seasons. That's a list Travis Kelce's not on. Mark Andrews is. That's a list that Jared Cook's on. George Kittle is not, because he has 7 total touchdowns. But yeah, I'd say receiving yards, habanero. Receiving touchdowns, I don't think it happens because it's one of those Chase things, or even a Devontae Smith, or not a Devontae Smith, even a Jalen Waddle. I think he could catch 8 or 9 touchdowns in Miami. I'd probably go Tabasco for the touchdowns. Baltimore doesn't have the volume in the passing. If Baltimore's winning 14 games again, it's not because Lamar Jackson threw for 5,000 yards. It's because he threw for 3,300 yards, ran for 1,000, and the Ravens had 3,500 yards on the ground and had another all-time great rushing season.
That was kind of a point that I was working towards too as well. I feel like Baltimore's run game is obviously a big part of their offense, so it's probably going to be a lot harder for somebody like Bateman to be up there in terms of receiving yards when Baltimore's running the ball so much.
Yeah, and I can even throw it back to a Hollywood Brown article that I wrote. People nowadays focus so much on the volume stats. I remember being in arguments last season heading into the year that, Devontae Adams isn't that good. He only has 1,000-yard season or whatever. And people just totally throw out that he's an all-time awesome playoff performer, and they totally throw out that he had 997 yards twice, which is essentially 1,000. If he catches one more ball, he's like a 3-time 1,000-yard receiver, and they went off this season. People focus so much on, did he get to 1,000 yards? Did he get to 10 touchdowns? Well, no, but that doesn't mean you suck. J.K. Dobbins had 800 yards. He was one of the more productive rookie running backs just based on efficiency. Lamar Jackson's never going to lead the league in rushing yards, but he's probably the single most electric ball carrier in the NFL, with all due respect to Tyreek Hill. But I think people need to slow it down on the volume stats with rookies. And I think numbers across the league, I think, are going to take a sizable dip. I don't think we have a guy even throw for 40 touchdowns next year. The 17th game throws a wrench into that. I don't think anyone is going to throw for 2.5 touchdowns a game. So 40 and
2.5 touchdowns a game. That would be funny if you throw a half touchdown.
That would be cool. I think the league leader will have 41 touchdowns, which that's in a 17-game season. In a 16-game season, that's like 38, essentially. So I don't think we're going to have a Rodgers or Mahomes throw for darn near 50. Maybe it could happen, but I think defenses are going to take a step forward. This is going to be a year. Bet some unders. I think bet some team unders. Bet total game unders. I think scoring's going to be a little bit down. Not down like I'm not talking every game's going to be 7-3, but some of those 35-31s, they're going to be 28-21s, right?